Hey Dale, I can't hear you. I don't know if anybody else can
This is a terrible thing.
There we go.
When you got a double mute, you're not a boomer anymore. I just wanted to spell that for anybody watching, right? Like, I'm only in my 30s. You got a double mute because, like, remember that clip? I think it was CNN. The dude's like having a really good conversation. He's like, and the financial crisis, and then the kid comes running in.
Yeah,
right?
and then
So,
the mom
like,
busts in and is like,
I got great software that keeps the noise from happening and also keeps me from saying really cool things like, what's up, Rebels? Thanks for joining us today on the Rebel Rally live virtual session with my man, Jeremiah Griffin. I'm really excited to be here with him. My name's Dale Dupree. Rebels, what's up? It's not about us. Who's out there? Let's start seeing some comments. I see we got Maria. What's up, Maria? How's it going? Anybody else want to shout out? Want to throw some sweet comments at us? Make us laugh. We're into that. Otherwise, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, jokes.
Jeremiah, it's Friday. What's up, dude? What are you doing? What are you doing on Friday, bro? Anything?
Well, you travel around the world. I'm stuck in my office usually, trying to, sell stuff.
And it's kind of crappy of me.
Sellers.
Yeah. You should report me to HR.
Where are you at?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, actually. Shout out to the big ATL or whatever you guys call yourself here. I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch the Orlando Magic whoop up on the Atlanta Hawks tonight.
The
okay, I just want to
worst
tell you that.
team in the NBA.
Okay.
Only for the last 5 years.
Okay. Listen, I'm not going to let you talk. This is why I can't invite Jeremiah to go to any sports things with me, because I'll just hear this. That's all there is to it. Sassy Jeremiah comes out.
You're preparing for professional sports. I'm preparing for like kids sports tomorrow. But hey, you heard it here first. Right now, Joshua Griffin is like the next Ronaldo of you as a soccer fan should appreciate that, right? So he scored in a scrimmage the other day against seventh graders. He scored 5 goals, which some people are like, well, what's the big deal? He's not a 7th grader. He's a 9-year-old 3rd grader. So that I'm just saying, said it here first. It probably won't happen, but
listen, if those 7th graders were watching this live stream, you would be in lots of trouble. You'd be paying for therapy for those people right now for sure. They already feel bad enough as it is. Okay.
And they know
don't dig it in. Yo, what's up, John Perry? Cigar time. Man, that's what I'm talking about. Jeremiah, do you remember when we were doing the Rebel Hideaways during COVID and John Perry would light up a giant cigar on the back porch and come hang out with us? That's good times. What's up, Jonathan Scott Lewis, Nick, Enrique, Chelsea? Thanks for being here, y'all. I promise we're going to talk about stuff, okay? We're keeping these short, 20, 30 minutes at a time. So we only want to talk about stuff for like 5 of those. So we got to talk about soccer and basketball before then, so that's cool, Jeremiah. I'm excited. I'm excited that you get to do some family sports stuff this weekend. That's what it's all about. So, dude, what's our topic today? What are we diving into? What is the rebellion dispelling in the sales world, and what are we shining a rebellious light on today?
Yeah, so I think we need to answer one question from last week. Should we do that first or like last?
Yeah, let's do that first. That's
the question that we didn't get to last week because of some of like the difficulties at the end was, and I can't remember who asked it, but hopefully he's on here. I know I connected with him afterwards. But anyway, the question was, what do you think about a video message in LinkedIn? So that was the question. It was like, what do you think about LinkedIn video messages instead of, whatever. There wasn't a whole lot of context around it, like whether it's on, connecting with someone, trying to connect with them, or once you've connected, or yada, yada, yada. It was just basically, what are your thoughts on LinkedIn video message?
Word. Why don't you kick that off, dude? First off, like, what do you think? What's the popular thing people would say around this topic that we should dispel in the process? And then what's a rebellious way to use video in your LinkedIn messages?
That we should dispel? I don't think there's really a whole lot of people out there talking about LinkedIn video messages other than using video on LinkedIn, like in posts. But in video messages, it's a pretty, it's not a very hot topic. So I mostly use voice notes, actually. So I'll record a video now and then, but I use a lot of voice notes. People tend to like those. The video is much like you would use a vidyard. So using it in and of itself is kind of rebellious on LinkedIn. I do like it better on LinkedIn than I do in an email sometimes, just because you've already connected with someone, which is mostly like what I'm using video and email anyway. But it just people don't really expect it. So it is definitely more of a rebel touch in LinkedIn more than it is in an email, just using it in general. Because people are used to people connecting and then saying nothing or pitching them on something. So it's either I got nothing or I got a pitch. I rarely ever get a voice note or a video. So even just like a short introduction, wearing a funny hat or telling a joke or something like that, and just introducing and saying, really the rebel way for me, because the way I use it mostly is on, after I connect with someone, whether I've accepted it or I've extended the connect request, is just saying, hey, thanks for connecting. I wanted to, tell you I wanted to open with a quick dad joke. Hopefully you appreciate it or something. Maybe it's not always a dad joke. Go into that, say, I'm looking forward to following your content. If you want to follow mine, hit the bell on my, profile. And, when I write a post every 6 months, you'll see it.
Good times. Yeah, I think really the big picture perspective for rebels out there that are listening is video shouldn't be something that's canned. It shouldn't be something that is scripted. It should be something very natural. So let's just say that, for example, you're going to send out like 15 video messages today. Do not, whatever you do not like pre-script everything and then just like run through 15 real quick. Hi, Monica. Hi, Nick. Hi, Gabriel. Like, don't do that. Okay. Instead, like, give people ultimately an experience through the process, right? And your video doesn't need to point back to, I'd like to set an appointment. Like, nobody cares. The video doesn't need to point back to, I sell this product. Nobody cares. The video should point to common threads. The video should point to gaps that could potentially be filled. The video should point to some pains. And if you can put a little humor in that, have a little fun with it, it's always a good time. Right. I can think back to the days when I first started using video and think about doing things like having a piece of paper lit on fire or a business card and shooting a video and saying, hey, I was going to drop this off for you, but I figured this is what it would turn out to be, one way or another. So I'm sending you a video instead, and I'm burning it myself because this is safer. I don't want you to get hurt. And ultimately, if you can, in your amateur days, even like that was for me, if you can speak to your audience in a way where you say, I get it, this type of outreach, these types of instances, they can be a little canned, they can be a little bland, they can be a little generic. I'd like to give you an experience. I'd like to put your needs before my own, or my quota at that. And I'd like to be able to solve problems for you in the future if you'd let me build a relationship with you. But I do want to say, if you can get cheap or free video editing software and instead of just like running your videos off of your webcam, I think something that really catches people's eyes when they're running it from your phone, you can have it in a selfie, landscape, portrait, whatever. But if you're able to do some transition shots, like zoom the phone into your body and make it look like it goes black out and then come back off of it, and you're in a new area or arena, like let's say you're in an office, you're standing in front of your product, you're showing things up. It's more fun when you can give people a little bit more of an exciting view and in the process of them watching what it is that you're doing, instead of just monotonously talking to them and stating things, but gaining some type of conversation from the activity is, I think, what we're really trying to do. What do you think, Jeremiah?
We might have to do a technical training at one point, like showing people like, hey, here's how you use this editing software, because my 10-year-old can do it. She does some pretty cool videos, so anybody can do it, right? But maybe we could have some time where we show some people that.
I tell you what, Jeremiah, if anybody's actually watching right now, because we don't even know if anybody's really, I mean, we see some people in the comments, but they probably just jumped in real quick to let us know, like, yeah, hey, social proof that I was saying. I'm just kidding, guys. We love you, all of you guys. But if you want to see us show the element of video, how to edit videos quickly, efficiently, how to do less than 1 minute videos. If you'd like us to kind of run through that at some point, drop a 1 in the comments. Number 1 in the comments when we get back into this video, whether it's now or a week from now, we'll look at all the ones. And if there's enough in there to make us say like, yeah, let's do that, then we'll do it. If not, whatever, Jeremiah, great idea, but we're moving on from it.
Yeah, real quick before we move on, I've actually used that Reface app, and there's other ones out there like that where I'll just have a picture of myself, and then you can like do a song with it where it like animates your face and your mouth and stuff like that. So it'll be like, hey, I did a song for you in honor of our connection or something. Obviously, I'm relating that specifically to LinkedIn because that was what the question was about. But anyway, lots of ideas for quick little videos that don't, again, like you said, point back to a meeting. So, and that kind of really like leads into the thing that we were going to talk about mostly today, which was follow up. And we had a little webinar, 500 people or something like that, Sales Hacker webinar yesterday. We were talking about outreach. We didn't get to talk about follow-up a lot. And I think one of the biggest issues for salespeople sometimes is like, how do I follow up, after the first, like my first follow-up is good. My second follow-up is pretty good. But after that, like, I don't really know what to do other than like just checking in with, someone. Maybe I send a GIF, GIF, however you say it, or whatever the case might be. But I don't really know where to go from here. Like, what other things can I do that are rebellious that just, keep that relationship going and that experience that I'm trying to create for them that is different from all the other salespeople out there? Because it's getting tough. I've followed up 3 times and they've said nothing, and I don't really know where to go from here. So some ideas on that. That's kind of a steady question that we get.
Yeah, for sure. I think you made a great point of this too when we were just chatting about it offline, where you had said people don't really talk about follow-up either. So there's not, for us in the same breath, there's not really a lot to dispel, like you had said earlier, because there's not a lot of conversation about it really. And this goes back to what I love how you tied it in, because here's what y'all should be thinking about: things like a video message that you send to somebody, or a voice note, or whatever the case, a crumpled letter, whatever the first touch is. There has to be a second touch, a third touch, a fourth. You got to think in increments, and you got to think about the long game. You got to think more about how can I give somebody an experience that's not just here's this great video and cross my fingers and hope to die. Like, that person has to become, at some point, they have to be interested enough and compelled to respond to you. So remember that follow-up is all about how you make people feel, just as much as prospecting in the first place is that how you make people feel. People will remember that more so than they'll remember, oh, you sell copiers, right? I don't think anybody remembers or cares about copiers, right? But until they're broken, then everything is doom and gloom, and they're going to come burn your entire office down if you don't.
I would always go buy a new copier when the one that I had broke. I mean, I'm talking about home copier machines and stuff like that, but instead of like wondering what was going on, and it was probably like I just had to change the ink, I would just like go buy a new one.
I mean,
anyway,
kind of the way to do it, right?
Total aside.
Picking on my copier life, right? I mean, I guess you're not really. You're just picking on buyers more than anything, I guess, there. But whatever, dude. I'm not listening to you anymore. So, so follow up. I think what's great about this topic is that because not a lot of people are talking about it, the people that are listening right now, I want y'all to think about a couple things, and you'll be the only people out there thinking about this, right? Ultimately, because there's not a big discussion on it. Other than the rebels in our system that are doing coaching and, really compelling themselves to learn a different way, right? So think about this. When you're following up with somebody, instead of saying just checking in, which is absolutely the worst thing to possibly send to somebody, it literally does nothing for you other than get you potentially a response that says, thanks, not interested. Or something mediocre to that nature, right? I mean, I'm not going to say that every single person responds with, I hate this type of follow-up email, but I am going to tell you right now that it doesn't activate the brain. There is no evidence of it actually providing value for people, period. It's really just like you're a nagging kid that was like, hey, mom, can I go out tonight at 9:00? Yeah, I'll get back to you. Hey, mom, hey, mom, hey, mom, over and over again. Like that's the thought process. So instead of following up with the thing that you sent last, continue the experience. All right, move to the next piece. And because listen, the person that you sent an email to that you said X, Y, and Z, element OP, especially if it's something creative, it's something audacious, if it's something that kind of beats the norm, it stands out like a red X in a sea of blue circles, right? If that's the type of messaging that you're using in the first place, right? People are going to remember what you said and why you're emailing them to begin with. If you continue the experience, right? Add value in the next email, right? The first email is a little introduction. Hey, we fixed this. Any possibility for us to partner, whatever it is that you're saying. The next email doesn't need to be bump, checking in on my last email, or hey, did you read it? Or, whatever the heck y'all are doing out there. Sometimes my mind gets blown when I see y'all's emails. I hope none of y'all that email me are watching, because I don't want you to be offended, but it's a little mind-boggling, right? Instead, send me something else. Send me the next thing. Send me what will continue to drive, my attention and make me want to feel and build that credibility to begin with in the first place, right? Because sales is about timing. You email me about a copy machine, I'm not buying right now. If you follow up with it just checking in, I don't care. Right. But if you continue to give me some tips about shaking toner bottles when the toner's all out, and you can get a little bit extra out of it, not to wait 4 days for the new one to show up, and, tips on scanning, to an SMB drive, a network or a thumb drive, whatever the case, right? Like anything that you believe that could bring value to the person that you're talking to. Because remember, even the most simple or basic things that you guys can think of in your head, other people probably don't know. They're not immersed in your world. Right. So whether it's IT, whether it's consulting, whether it's SaaS, whatever the case is, right? Remember that you are technically the expert, even if you don't know everything, right? And so sharing small tips, giving some type of value is a massive piece of the puzzle. Or you could be like our boy Jeremiah here, and you could send out pictures of your whiteboard via text to the people you're trying to get in touch with a literal picture that says on it, contact attempts to insert your prospect's name and then the date, right? And then goal, he's got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's got 25 Roman numeral 30 Roman numerals up here. And then he's got actual 2, right? So his goal versus actual is very small in comparison. And you can get a response from people, right? Because ultimately it's about building that relationship. Shout out to homie if you're watching right now, since you're also a friend of ours.
And hit me back.
Yeah, please call Jeremiah.
Another thing that I did that was I should start doing it again. I don't know why I haven't done it lately, but I would send Chuck Norris jokes. So I would just basically they're short and they're funny. Like everybody thinks they're funny. So I'd have a Chuck Norris joke at the beginning, and then I would say, if you want to be the Chuck Norris of, and then you could basically put whatever you want, your service. And I would say, click here. And it would be, either an article that I had written or, just something of value that would help them do their job better without them even hiring me. So and I could do, I wasn't going to do 12 emails with Chuck Norris jokes, but I could do 3, 3 different Chuck Norris things and kind of tie it into different things. And it was, I had 3 good ones right there for follow-up just with Chuck Norris. Everybody loves Walker, Texas Ranger.
Absolutely. Who doesn't want a roundhouse kick to the face? You know what I'm saying?
Awesomeness.
So we're going to give you guys one more thing before we get the heck out of here today. Thanks for being with us. But if you stuck around, congratulations. We're going to give a shout out first off to a fantastic company called Alltech. They're up in the Pennsylvania region of the world. On the east side of the state. If you're in need of IT services, copy machines, scanners, all that cool stuff for your office and or workflows or professional services, these are your guys and girls. Brianna, are you watching? I'm about to show some stuff that you send out. So these are cards that the folks at Alltech send out through their Rebellion programs. They created these things just to give you a little glimpse. There's a few of them. Imagine that as you're following up with people and trying to build rapport, trying to keep them from ghosting you, ultimately trying to continue the conversation and continue the experience like we talked about. Imagine you send them a joke. What did the printer say when it ran out of paper, Jeremiah?
Oh, she.
Good stuff. And imagine that you're the recipient of these things, right? Imagine that you're not getting hounded and, somebody saying, oh, just checking it. Hey, could we get that meeting? Hey, hell. But instead giving you an experience, thinking beyond the sale, building community, stretching the legacy out a little bit further and putting in the effort beyond what the traditional sales rep does. And so you're not standing in a sea of crowded people, right? So that's my big tip for everybody out there today. Make some joke cards. Did you ever think that would be like the number one tip that Dale would give at the end of a live session?
Hey, it's a really easy thing to do, though. I mean,
right.
That's great. I mean, everybody loves a good joke, whether it's Chuck Norris, whether it's a joke about a copier or whatever.
Man, I agree with you, bro. I agree. Hey, great ringtone, bro. Was that one of the kids or?
I'm pretty sure that's the factory ringtone. My wife's trying to call me.
Oh, okay. Well, guys,
I don't need to take it.
Guys, it's time. We got to go. Jeremiah's got a call coming in from his wife. That is the number one most important thing as for the Sales Rebellion. Thanks for being here. We're going to be here every Friday. Rebel Rally virtual live session with Jeremiah Griffin, Dale Dupree. We'll be talking about stuff that's disappointing, things that are fun, whatever. If you're putting...
next week we're going to be talking about some of the things that we struggle with most, even as like salespeople, rebels, like longtime rebels, because those are some things that we've had some questions on. Like, I really struggle with this, even though I try to keep the rebel mindset. I'm really struggling with this because I'm like this, my personality, this and that. And I totally get where they're coming from because I have some of that stuff. So you're going to hear from me on that side too. So
spoiler alert for next week. Excited about next
all
week.
Of my horribleness.
Man, thanks for the banter today, bro. And hey, everybody out there, thanks for being here. We appreciate it greatly. All the rebels that are out here. If you're not in our Slack channel, head over to our brand new website. Check out the resources page, thesalesrebellion.com. If you're looking for coaching, if you want to get into the next squadron cohort, if you just want to tell us about something awesome that you did, we want to hear it. If you just want to say hi, we want to hear from you. Come join our community. Come get more involved. Thanks for being here today, guys. Happy Friday to everybody.
I've been trying out all of your techniques, so they've been doing very, very well. Like, I'm really impressed, Dale. I don't know if that's a good thing for you to hear, but like, it's been very, very successful in a very short amount of time. These are like sometimes leads that are horrible. I told you this already, but like I told one of my other BDRs, I was like, yeah, this is the line I'm going to use. And they're like, you're crazy. Like, this is never going to work. And like, I haven't heard anybody say no to me this past week.